Hello, my name is Rachel Harmon, and today I'll be doing a presentation on China's role in manufacturing and exporting fentanyl. First of all, what is fentanyl? Despite being created in Belgium for medical purposes, fentanyl is now one of the deadliest drugs in the U.S. Before 2019, China was the largest source and trafficker of fentanyl precursors, such as the synthetic opioid U-47,700. Fentanyl statistics. Findings made by the NCDAS, the National Center for Drugs and Abuse Statistics, found that fentanyl-related overdoses started to have a major incline in 2014, and by 2017, overdoses were at an all-time high of roughly 56,000 people. In 2016 alone, there were 18,335 fentanyl-related deaths in the United States. The graph to the right shows the comparative annual overdoses over the past 10 years. Many drugs struggle to surpass 20,000, while fentanyl easily exceeds 50,000. So how are these precursor chemicals distributed? Essentially, China has gray market companies who create the compounds and then traffic them into either Canada or Mexico, where the manufacturing process is then finished. When they finally made fentanyl, they normally disguise it as heroin or counterfeit prescription pills. However, there are instances where China is able to transport it straight into the United States from Hong Kong, and in that case, the drug is typically really pure and is distributed through well-known drug markets. Correspondingly, China also makes the precursors for methamphetamines. During the 1990s and the mid-2010s, southern China started to manufacture meth to export to East China and Australia, as well as for domestic consumption. China only started manufacturing fentanyl precursors during the early 2000s, and then vastly picked up production during the mid-2000s. The downside of working with the cartel. While China works with the Mexican cartel to traffic and manufacture fentanyl into the United States, its collaboration with them has caused a huge economic backlash. Financially, it's a risky procedure since Chinese brokers either have to circumvent the U.S. and Mexican formal banking systems, or they have to perform riskier actions such as value transfers between the two criminal networks, including trade-based laundering, value transfers utilizing wildlife products such as protected and unprotected marine products, and timber, real estate, cryptocurrencies, casinos, and bulk cash. However, value transfers potentially create issues such as threats to public health and safety, economic stability, food security, and global diversity. I believe these threats are in part due to the lack of preparation when it comes to the impulsive nature of covering up money laundering involved with drug trafficking. The overlapping Venn diagram graph on the right shows that factors that are social, economic, and environment all contribute to a sustainable economy in a country. Eventually, the epidemic turned inward. Although it was originally intended as an additional source of international revenue, the drug epidemic eventually became more widespread, claiming more international users as well as domestic users. However, fueling domestic users was never the purpose. That fact, combined with growing concerns about the potential threat of value transfers, prompted China to improve domestic-related crimes, such as the manufacturing and trafficking of opiates. Data shows that the year 2021 saw 45,000 drug-related cases solved in China, 77,000 suspects arrested, 27 tons of drugs seized, and 326,000 persons identified as using drugs, down by 16.3%, 16.7%, 51.4%, and 23.6% respectively year-on-year, according to the Consultant General of the People's Republic of China in Los Angeles. However, this data is only reflective of domestic statistics in China. The graph on the left shows what percentage of the national total of drugs found in China was located in Yunnan province. Competitive efforts. Drug trafficking checkpoints. Eventually, in an effort to minimize drug manufacturing and trafficking, the CCP began setting up drug clearance checkpoints in areas with heavy trafficking, such as near the Myanmar and China border. These clearances include a sweep of the vehicle's crevices, a physical searching of the person, and occasionally a randomized internal orifices X-ray check, although these are more often with bus riders and carpools. These checkpoints operate 24/7, thus straining the resources of law enforcement officers, as sometimes nothing is caught and other times illegal substances are continuously discovered. In the top left corner, you can see two of these officers' drug hauls. How the epidemic is being rectified. Ultimately, China is no longer the largest producer of fentanyl-related substances, thanks to an agreement between China and the United States to strengthen custom enforcement. Initially, China cracked down on the trafficking model, but that changed after China implemented sweeping controls on all fentanyl-related substances in 2019. So trafficking from China still exists, but Mexican criminal organizations are responsible for most of U.S.'s fentanyl.